Alright, Geshe Sempa Namji, that Yamne, that Do Sum, the Jashetan, Timo Sum, and then Dungaki, Yuzo, Tonje, and Delia, and Yamlen Jeta, the Payagan and Yamlen Jeta, and the Maze, Geshe Sempatiki, that Geshe Sempatiki, Yamlen Che, the Karsine, then person to be Yamlen Che, the Chagorwa, the Nizada, then the Jimbe Yamle, Kandisnawarelana, the Shogun Azuda. All those corner, Jimbe Yamlen Jetangor, all those Geneshu.
Recently in the text we've been looking at how the Bodhisattvas who know without any doubt that it is the three poisons that are the source of all suffering and pain in the world, that they strive to eliminate the poisons of ignorance and attachment and anger. And thereafter, having looked at the practices they engage in order to destroy these poisons, we came to the primary activities or the primary work of bodhisattvas, and that's engaging in the activities of the six perfections. And we've looked at the first, that of the perfection of generosity. We'll continue with the second perfection, that of ethical restraint. If without ethics one's own well-being cannot be secured, any thought of accomplishing that of others is absurd. Therefore, without any worldly aspiration, observing ethical restraint is the practice of bodhisattvas.
Andelia, Jingi, Shalia, Pember to Guyus, and this Jiki Shandun Jiguyus, and in the Chebine, and the Me Shandagi Tovina, and Jiki, or the Gemashu ratio, that Gemashu in Eros, Carson, or Coromaji, Emilia, the Nedin Jerachi to me Gemashu regime. So Churum Masoache, Nishandun Chiguyus, and a rang, Denis Jebaina, Sosugi Churum, Lunga Yusum Yeju, don't be Churum Mason, Sosoranga, Lunga Yusum Yeva Damaraje, and then Nishalia, and Shandun Shandun Jealia, Pemberton, Shandun Chiguyus, and Shandun Tuguyus, and Denil, Jehan Yorova, the Denis Jebaina, Mishandagi Tombaina, and the Namjo, you can some of the hands with Honan, Gemasho Gregere, Sosora Maji, Milia, Dineshido, Dinechiduas, and me Dineke, Gemasho again, Regere. And the men begin then Geshe Sempata, Deneki, and the Kaby, and then the Dembag, Yamne, you can take the Tona, and this Dana, Ningji, you regere, Sosugi, Surum Maso, Michelia, Surum Jike, Shandu Jiggy, said on the Jeta Machine, Ninjas, and beginning Jiggy regere. Tis not Surum Meba, Randu Miruna, Shandun Duber, Deba Gemini said.
Looking at the first couplet of lines, if without ethics one's own well-being cannot be secured, any thought of accomplishing that of others is absurd. If one has a wish to be of benefit to others, but doesn't successfully restrain one's physical behavior or in one's speech through having not endeavoring to restrain one's way of thinking, then one is not going to be acting in a way that's beneficial to oneself and certainly not to others. So even if one has the wish to be of benefit to others, but if not guarding one's ethics, practicing restraint, then others will see you making endeavors to benefit others while still being unethical. And they'll find your acts supposedly geared to benefit others as being laughable. Laughable because the one who aspires to become a bodhisattva is acting in an unethical way or speaking in an unethical way. When bodhisattvas regard such a person, they will see this person that whilst on the one hand having the wish to be of benefit to others, because of not restraining themselves, restraining their ethics, restraining themselves ethically, this person is not achieving the welfare of others nor themselves. And here the Bodhisattvas will generate great compassion for this deluded being.
소소 수림 야고 마소바 있나 릉아 이숨 예제 덤비기 예제 덤체 수림 마소바 있나 근데 릉아 이숨 요거네 샬란 네비게 자와다 근데 망고 쇼르고 지기리 와지래 근데 쇼와 있나 안 소소게 체대 소소라는 게 체대기 디기디에 용두고 말에 강아 망불리기리 와서 제산 디기 수림 마소바 있나 안에 니 맞에 안에 수림 마소바 있나 개와치말 하다 미고바다 아니 원디오 고바토에 톱투고 말와서 제상 안송한솔에 끼투래 제상 끼루고래 제상 수준 마소 바이나 랑기 된 주비에게 랑기 된데 가서 세디기 디기 주비하다 개와치마 아니 하다 미 댄상보 톱 디텔이야 디기 요야 디기 하나 저기 된다 디로 바다까지 디기디 제상 수준 마소 바이나 아니 세디기 디기 안 주투 말 개와치말 하다 미고바 원디오 고바토에 주투고 말했어 제상 데니게 둠마도 바이나 아나 맞아 냠는 제제 안지게 또고줄에 베네르와 샬라 잠바단 제와 니죠 kom야다 전주심줄에 기토야디 하고 싶으러 와서 데니 마소 반장 데니게 잠니제 안에 전주심 데니게 소소게 냠는 제마도 바이나 샬레 판도가 개체모 가는 수투 그래서 셴는 두버 돼 봐서 셴는 개체모 두투 말어 와서 두고 말해 제래 그래서 소소게 추림 냠래 매나 랑데 미두 바세들 랑게된 세디기 디기 세면 두투고 말해 안개와치 말하다 미고 봐 톱투고 말해서 원디고 봐 톱투고 말해 디마도 반장 라니 강아를 홍제 데니게 여바나 셴기 된 개체모 두투세야 돼 빼갈래 하버려 제래 셴는 두버 돼 봐 개면에서 개마셔야게 내려서 디스오르다
Someone is without ethics, if they're not restraining themselves, then they will not achieve even their own benefit. They won't even achieve their benefit in this one life, because in this life they will be continuously creating causes that ripening conditions that lead to ever more suffering. Not only is an unethical person going to suffer in this life, but they're creating the causes which will lead to suffering in the future lives. So the most temporary of benefit, that of just this one life, won't be achieved. And the temporary benefit of a good rebirth as a human or God, this also won't be achieved. So therefore, if one isn't ethical, if one is not practicing ethical restraint, one only harms oneself. And even if one has the wish to be of benefit to others, if we cannot properly control, cannot properly restrain ourselves, how can we be of benefit to others? Because without this foundation from which all virtuous qualities grow, that's that of ethical restraint, then any thought of developing great qualities such as love and compassion, as well as minds such as definite emergence, these will never get beyond a mere aspiration. So therefore, any aspiration one has to be of benefit to others, unless one guards one's own ethics, it's absurd to claim that one is striving to overcome obstacles in order to attain enlightenment for the benefit of others, when one cannot or is not even restraining oneself. And if one's not restraining oneself, one suffers now and in future lives. In this very life, one causes harm to others, doesn't bring benefit to them. And due to our ongoing obstacles and sufferings in future lives, such as the very real likelihood of falling into the lower realms, we will struggle to be of any benefit to others in our future lives too.
수rim세디 윤된 탐제 중요하기 시자 사실로 지레 제가 디네 인상 수림야보 마송 바이나 나는 저기 체델이야 안지 개와사도 말에 아니 개와사반 이야기도 두고 말에 난 수림야보 마송나 띵이지 신의 두고 말에 제가 띵이지 신의 줘야 될라야 수림야보 송고 거래 잠니제 개발라야 수림 릉아 이순 예제된베 수림 샬라뉴 수림 송제네 아니 샬라야 네바제 릉아 이순 네바지기지래 네 잠니 조금 투야 말와지 진짜 륜아 유스미 네 샹리아 네비 추림 네비가 삼바데 송제 추림송 안데야 랑제싱게 삼바 송고 그래서 진짜 랑제싱 삼바 마송바이나 다 윤된지 관계 공도 배대 네좀 장세 장주심 길이 투 말레스 디네자 디송고데 배 마세 게침부 시오치리에스 진짜 장주심바디게 디네 시제네 안에데 하고 되니게 시제는 가서를 대치를 시비 듬바 매바이 수줌송와 계세 라린 했어요. 진짜 전주선만 남기 내내기 юм전되게도 진짜 시제네. 진짜 되니 인자 시비기 코비기 쳐려야 배 차바서 싸우기네 맞게바지 안 파수 저기 랑기 되기 된다려야 아직 차바 맞게바지 현심정 코네치도 안에另外是业就的被出人送呀当让接人三把的送接呢查来看他们了现心间的主要心间的判把的第一主要困难程度安都是呢查来能够来着的第一是 CB 对把没把一出人送啊就是哪里些的
As was just mentioned, ethical restraint is the basis of all good qualities. And why so? So ethical restraint is likened to the foundation or the earth from which all good qualities grow. Starting at the very first of achieving a good rebirth in our next life, ethical restraint is the primary cause that leads, or the main cause, the principal cause that leads to a good rebirth as a human or God. Without ethical restraint, one will not even achieve a good rebirth, making any other greater goal one longs for laughable. Furthermore, the foundation of all good qualities, the higher training of ethics, is the foundation on which the higher training in concentration is achieved. So independent on the higher training of ethical restraint, one achieves the higher training in concentration, which is the basis upon which one achieves the higher training in wisdom. So therefore, concentration and wisdom cannot be achieved if one is not restraining oneself. Moreover, any aspiration or even endeavors that we engage in to benefit others are going to be greatly impeded by being unethical. We'll be harming ourselves, we'll be harming others. How can we benefit others when we are acting in an unethical manner? It's clearly contrary. When one is not restraining oneself and acting in a harmful way, causes suffering to oneself and suffering to others. So therefore it's imperative that one practices ethical restraint. And here, in the context of the trainings of a bodhisattva, the primary focus in terms of ethical restraint is restraining oneself from following the self-cherishing mind. This is the primary ethical focus of a bodhisattva, restraining the self-cherishing mind. Because without practicing ethical restraint with relation to the self-cherishing mind, the other cherishing mind will continue to dominate, meaning that whilst one may be acting ethically, it will be done so for one's own self-interest, achieving good rebirth for oneself, liberation for oneself. That is not the focus at all of a bodhisattva. It's contrary focus for a bodhisattva. So rather, the bodhisattva focuses on practicing ethical restraint in relation to the self-cherishing mind. Doing so, they are thereby able to cultivate the other cherishing mind and bodhicitta itself. And we see this now in the third and fourth line. Therefore, without any worldly aspiration, and worldly aspiration here we can understand in a broader context, a broader manner, understanding having developed definite emergence through having seen that everything that's bound within samsara is essenceless, and therefore striving for the great liberation of enlightenment. So therefore giving up any worldly aspiration of desiring of any pleasures in the world, as well as a good rebirth for one's own benefit or liberation for one's own benefit. And therefore, giving up worldly aspiration, observing ethical restraint. And here, restraining the self-cherishing mind is the practice of bodhisattvas.
다 장수 sempadam yudus nyamle nawa na shin chene 다 장수 sempadi ge nyama ne 장수 semkule ma ge nyele ne lunga yesu nye jo tembe surim sona rang che sing samba pa ka dene shen jeba jimbe samlo jamba da ni je gom dene 장수 semkule ge gewarwa 제가 장수 semkule ge ne dene shen semjel 조와 semjen 탐지기 디기 주야다 동화 세야기 권의 제도 안도시는 소수이나 되네 냠내나 셴레 안에 팬버줍 제도시는 주름소야다 대라진지게 삼바소야 되네 잠바든 이제 kom야 두스 롭된 제제 셴레 팬바 계시 못는 주고로와 어디나지 다 아주이네야 아주기 류가 유숨게 아니 예죄 담야데 그디네 아주 류가 유숨이 거네 샬라 뉴베 자와 싸와긴 지금이 선배기 삼나다디다 아니 랑 디기 되죠 랑 지징게 삼바디기 나라 랑이 디기 고고 삼제 디 지징게 삼비 원게 샬래야 아니 녀베기야다 샬라 강하테야 근데 너저 멍고 차기도 제자 랑 지징게 삼바디 아주 동안 탐지 영향이 규조 디제샤 삼제 근데 랑 제바지메 삼노디 기디나데 삼노 콜그메 삼노 땅메 삼제 따로 소소라랑게 ल्या가로다 가레 시분다 샬라 페베치도 인사제 두시랑 안주게 셈리야 로려야 되네게 야네 야도 삼당고야디 대딩아 저기 로려야 콤플리트 제거야디 기침 차거와 되네게 콤플리트 제거이나 아니 아주 콤플리트 로려야 콤플리야 볼레베이나 되는 아주게 기티나 아니 개위 소디게 개와디게 야보 사투야다 되네게 당 아주게 that dinije denga sanje go bon to be chiru yi da jewa chima sa da mi go bon to be chiru sam go ya ma ra de ma sam ba xian a ju ge da xian le ne ba da xian di gi zhu ya da xian ye dong a se ye ge dong da liang ge chu sum gu ye ji da rang ji sam ba song che xian le pen be ge lu nga yi su mi go ne xian le pen ba gang tu de ji gi sa be sam na de ne ge sam na da ji sam le de gom shi tia ba yi na xian le pen ba zhu ya da de ne Geshe 용으로 되네서 디기 기위 디기 깨와치 말하다 미고와 토야다 먼저 탈바다 내 자주 셈귤레게 근데 타니어 줘야지 라슈게 라싱고라 차고로 유디 유세베텔라 제보디 요야 인임로다 상한주 디나신 장주 있는 데 삼는 야네 당고에 디리 당주 디 랍제디 랭고에 디 차고로와
When bodhisattvas were ordinary beings, but had given rise to the wish to become bodhisattvas. So perhaps just like ourselves, who see these great beings and long to be like them, see the great impact that they have on others, and have perhaps had on us, we long to be like them and be of great meaning in the lives of others too. So when aspirant bodhisattvas give rise to such a wish, with great self-restraint, they watch their mind, ensuring it's ethical, and thereby being certain that their physical and verbal behavior, that too will be ethical. And in particular, they guard against the self-cherishing mind, rather cultivate the other-cherishing mind, because that is what is crucial for bodhicitta. The self-cherishing mind is contrary to the other-cherishing mind, a basis required for bodhicitta. So therefore, for the sake of others, aspirant bodhisattvas strove to restrain their body, speech, and mind, because they knew this was the required basis to be able to actually generate love, compassion, bodhicitta, and engage in the real six perfections, the actual six perfections. So for ourselves then, as aspirants, we must commit to watching our minds, ensuring that it's ethical. In other words, it's always placed on virtue. It's not going in the direction of non-virtue. And if we are attentive to our mind, then we can be very confident that our resulting physical and verbal actions, these too will be ethical. And whilst watching our mind, we need to be aware of our intention, our motivation, guarding against the self-cherishing mind. The self-cherishing mind, here, it's imperative for us to be successful at restraining ourselves ethically, in particular in relation to the object of the self-cherishing mind. We have to know the grave danger that this places to us and therefore to others too. This wish for primarily our own happiness, our happiness first and foremost, our happiness even at the expense of others, is what causes so much harm, pain and suffering. In fact, it's a source of all pain and misery. So we need to reflect on this repeatedly over a sustained period, seeing the great faults of the self-cherishing mind, seeing this as an enemy, seeing this as being truly dangerous. And as we become more skilled through gaining a strong aversion to being under the influence of the self-cherishing mind and becoming greatly skilled in guarding against it, our virtuous activities will grow and multiply. And this reflection will greatly strengthen our aspiration, which we need to also be cultivating. That is the commitment that in no circumstance will I bring harm to others. And I'll seek out situations where I can bring benefit to others, and I'll do so as much as I can. And this commitment not to harm others doesn't only refer to directly harming others, but also to indirectly through our way of thinking. Again, it means keeping the mind virtuous. And as much effort as we put into this reflection, this huge store of virtue that we are creating by practicing ethics, by restraining ourselves ethically for the welfare of others, this will bring about good rebirths life after life and bring the attainment of enlightenment ever closer. So this is the way that we as aspirants to the Bodhisattva paths need to think. Restrain ourselves ethically, restrain our way of thinking, ensuring we bring no harm to others by coming under the influence of the self-cherishing mind. But rather, on one hand, restraining our self-cherishing mind, secondly, developing the other cherishing mind, and thereby being of benefit to others.
Now
we come to the 27th practice, that of the perfection of patience.
That's it. Geshe
For bodhisattvas eager for wealth or virtue, all sources of harm are like a rare and precious treasure. Therefore, without animosity towards anyone at all, cultivating patience is the practice of bodhisattvas.
Jimbe Parsion Dugan Yamlin Tarchimba Debata, Tarchimbo Samyada, and Tarchimba Debata, and Sony Tarchimba, So, Ishi Sola, Sunam Sola, Ishi Sola, Yamlet and Yamlin Tarchinje, and the San Yuko, Tober Debachi, give you launcher, that launcher Sidan and the Mini, you pension launcher, that in it, Shania, Digi to be a Rasin Nigale, Digi to be a gate, Tungendi, Yasho did that, Parsion Dugan Yamlenda, and the Sunami Sola Ishi Sola Yamlet Tarchine, that San Yuko Bandi Chagua, on the Dugores, the Tober Dugores, give you launcher, Depi, Geshe last. The nature you send by the Gilea, and you never Jike, Ganga Jikan, never Jikan Tuba Ina, Yomba Ina, and then Nuje, then singing but Nuje Tamji Rinjin, Delta Song, said, since I didn't never check it to tell a was it Nuje Tamji, Nuje kind of senior, tell a Rinchin Rimbuchi Dero, never Nashin, Gawaki or Edge, Rinchin Delta Song, said, it's Carson, Rimbuchi, Danganzuki, said that we that young are to touch you about Dorje Palam, said Rimbuchi Dige, Carson, the solar dinner, and Anzuki, Jige, Rangi, Longe, Yabuyungore, Shelle, Pebble, G, Tuyata, Karachina, J. the Paso, Joya, Joso, Taya, Reggae, Conversia, Jala, Nuata, Sosolinga, Tayada, Denigi, Jig Beju, Longe, Beju, Dutu, Yungurwa. She said, Dinashi, Denigi, Nuji, Tatela, Denebmagic, Sevocom to war, just about Sevocom, Sevocom, the Digi, and Sevocomata, Denigi, Sevocom, Maze, Denigi, Jawa, 다 그런 줄이야 디바 빠도 메바 사고를 닝제 다디 제보 동안 용거서 닝제게네 쇠바다 닝제 냠는 에 맞아 야보인 거래 되네 와서 쇠바다 닝제까지 냠는 숙체로네 다초 용수 좋아야라 타니에다 산조고바 타와라 타니에 또바 터르고로와 되네 인자 아니 되네기 저어디게 지금 내지디게 통화도 대략에 렌지 때다 총반하는데 되네게 쇠바 고며 고가 브라와 아니 지금 이제 고며 고가 뺀마서 야보리 되네게 섬제 대략 아니 지금 도시에 가와 공고래지래
For bodhisattvas eager for wealth of virtue, bodhisattvas certainly are eager for wealth of virtue in that they know it's through virtue or through merit that they will rapidly progress along the paths and grounds of bodhisattvas and achieve their longed-for wish of becoming a Buddha so that they can be of greatest benefit to others. And moreover, whilst training and developing and progressing towards enlightenment, it's through merit that they will be able to be of great impact to beings right then and there. So therefore, a bodhisattva eager to engage in the various practices of a bodhisattva, the activities of a bodhisattva, namely the 6 perfections. Moreover, they will be striving to complete the 2 accumulations, that of merit and wisdom. So the practices of generosity, ethics, patience, and so forth, conjoined with bodhicitta, are perfections, and they're called perfections because it's through these practices being conjoined with bodhicitta that the practices are taken to are developed to the state of perfection, developed into the continuum of a Buddha. Similarly, bodhisattva is striving to develop the 2 accumulations of merit and wisdom with the intention to develop them to the state of perfection, to perfectly develop them, so to the point where they achieve Buddhahood. This is the aspiration of bodhisattvas, hence they are so eager for wealth of virtue. And in order to rapidly achieve that, and be of greatest benefit to beings, to be of great benefit to beings now too, come to the second line. All sources of harm are like a rare and precious treasure. So bodhisattvas see all sources of harm, whether they are people or situations, outer or inner, so whether they are people or circumstances, situations they encounter, their own inner turmoil or difficulties in practice, whatever these sources of harm may be, they see them as like a treasure because of the great benefit that they bring to oneself and others. So just like if an ordinary person stumbles across a great treasure of huge value, this will transform their lives. It will also transform the lives of their loved ones. They will be able to buy wonderful things and have a comfortable life. So bodhisattva sees sources of harm as this great treasure because they realize the opportunity that they present. So an ordinary being who stumbles across a hidden treasure sees that as greatly valuable because of the opportunities that it brings. A bodhisattva sees so-called sources of harm as presenting an unparalleled opportunity, an opportunity to practice patience, because they understand that they have the ability to successfully transform any obstacle into happiness. And therefore, how can it even be called an obstacle when it is actually the cause of lasting happiness? And with this understanding, when so-called obstacles are encountered, great joy arises in the bodhisattva. The bodhisattva knows that they can transform this potential obstacle into a precious treasure, the causes for enlightenment.
Dechir kunla shede mebayi seba komba kese lale yinse. Jizan dechir kunla shede mebayi dechir labdu jizan pe rinchen der nashen za chenpo pe chi yawo shugure samje delia du samne. An delia kongzhu ma lawa che. Jizan kongzhu 대식군의 시제 매바 이제 시제 시제는 코로마랑 말랑바체 아니 쇠복음고레스 쇠복음고레스 아니 쇠복음마마세 다 코로나 주의 되는 여바치인데 이 코로나 주에다 내 녀모베 왕기 배두스간의 여바치고 다 코로나 녀모바께 다 코로나다 기고요 말에 닝제 안데 녀모베 왕게 디가라 여바치와서 코로나 량아바 사고레 디디부 둥아 마오바네 녀고치 닝자 세베 닝지게야다 아니 하바도 닝지게와다 안디랴 안직파 예, 지금 아저인데 코로나에 너베기 파 너베기 디sabля 코로나들이야. 디노 지금 잠비 셈 상보게 당 아니 녀모바 시야게 된다라야. 안 두스치는 야 파야 판도 두스치네. 아니 제야당 안지게 소수게 되게 쇠바곰제 아니 니제군데 개와사샤가 되게 개와텔라테네 아니 거기 마오바나 동아 녀모야 당 안 거기를 장주 셈 상보게야. 안 장주 셈 냠는 제투야. 용어 쇼스네 누시네 말람게 되는 거 알아지 저기서 받기
Bodhisattvas have long meditated on suffering, the causes of suffering, and thereby have come to recognize who their true enemies are, and that is the afflicted minds. Because of their great skill that they've developed through this habituation, they know that no person they meet or situation they encounter can actually cause them harm. The only thing that causes harm is afflicted minds. So on one hand, they've correctly identified the cause of suffering, and that gives them great strength of mind and freedom. Secondly, through extensive meditation on the kindness of others and the wish to repay their kindness and compassion and love having arisen within them, they feel an intense closeness and affection for all they encounter. So when they encounter situations that for us would be dangerous in that our afflictions would readily arise, they, as we see in the third line, therefore are without animosity towards anyone at all. And this is due to their extensive meditation on suffering and the causes of suffering, as well as their love and compassion. So situations of grave danger are when for us our afflictions arise, when we either have inner turmoil, we're facing with some kind of obstacle, we meet someone that we're not getting on with. But the Bodhisattva, in that same situation, they know the only thing they need to guard themselves against is the afflictions, because that is the only thing that can cause harm. And if they're encountering a being who is acting in an aggressive or harmful manner towards them, the Bodhisattva readily knows through their cultivation of all these meditations that this being before them has over countless lifetimes directly and indirectly shown them such tremendous kindness and independence on this being. The Bodhisattva has developed so many good qualities and so forth, because all has come about independence on others. And now this being before them, this kind mother sentient being, is overwhelmed by afflicted minds and is suffering intensely. And not only suffering in this moment, but the Bodhisattva knows that this kind mother sentient being is right now creating the causes for grave suffering in the future. Therefore, spontaneously, powerful love and compassion arise in response to the harm that this person is enacting towards them. And moreover, spontaneously, all the virtue that is being generated now in dependence on this angry or afflicted or desirous person before them, all this virtue they dedicate to this being with a heartfelt aspiration. May this virtue of love and compassion that's generating within myself now on the basis of patience, may it ripen on their continuum. May they quickly transform their situation, become bodhisattvas themselves. That's how bodhisattvas respond in the face of harm. Therefore, in the fourth line, cultivating patience is the practice of bodhisattvas.
아데네게 자주sem바디게 도스 냠레나디 자주셈 마게니엘나 안자주셈 냠len 제도 장시심 기에 돈다 잠니제 냠len 제도는 도시는 공고로 장시심 기에 차외내 되는 공고 장시심 냠len 예를 맞이 마기 거는 냠len 망고 체는 마도 서버 망고 공고로 지자 되네자 두스콤바레스 안디 마세 안다야지 소수기 냠len 제도 갑라 소설야 네 나서 수불야 네 나서 강아망고 체체베네 당아 조인데 당아 네 나서도 강아도 세당아 다지 냠는 지 최지디 갑라 네 나스레데 답에 독자 바시 지기도 셈빙아 조인데 셈파 시스템 교 차야다 되니기 다디 제칼레도 되네자다 내가 말 흘려지 되긴 내 제토사 말은 흘려지 되긴 있는데 맞으니 되네 용으로 와 다 전주선 바디게 냐마 냠는 지디 갑라 전주선 마기 녀르네 도스치네 냠는 지디 갑리야 한 지지 수벌래 네 나사다 되네 강아 요디 갑라 지 나디니게 네 나조야디게 차상 다 제소게 셈 마기와 마차와제 근데 셈 되니게 네 나술래 동아 당도 렌체네 다 되니게 네 나술 빼난 개왕아마 레기 대부 동안용과기 당한 손을게 동안용과 레기 제부 다들 민거레스 진짜 되는 민체네 안 제부디 마세네 마오바는 용 먹어야 차기래 디디도스 안세바 텔레 서버 코미아다 안 하바도 마디네 동안연 빼 야고도 승에 셈전 탐지게 된다인 진짜 셈전 탐지게 동안 가는 쇼베네 디디 동아지네 디게 용화체 셈전 첼레 용 먹어야 셈전 사장의 동아디게 사사 네디 동아 가는 nem바 잡쟁이 양기 세비게 셈슈 파체 수 아니 시행기 동아 주 랑게 렘바다 당아랑게 계획자와 가르네 디제 시행에 디기 줘야 돼 파당기 있으네 연jel에 디기 줘서 매바체제 두세 동랭 검지 공부를 제가 동아기에도 되게 셈체 맞제 셈 마슌 버슌 마슌 바체 디sablia 안 동아데 당도 렌체 안델야 시행이 동아디게 디가라 주라 렌서 삼바다 랑게 계획자와 디기 찾아 샹라 제제 시행차산 디기 줘서 비게 매바체제 동랭 공부를 제가 되네기 라야 강아 체여도 동아 달랭이 서바스 두스고 있는 거래제
Prior to the generation of bodhicitta, anyone who aspires to the bodhisattva paths has to go through all these practices that have been mentioned here, including, of course, the cultivation of love and compassion. And these practices bodhisattvas continue in even after having generated bodhicitta within their continuum. And therefore, especially when they are bodhisattvas and have great love and great compassion manifest in their continuum, then it becomes easy for them to transform difficult circumstances into the paths. For us, it certainly is more difficult, much more difficult. Nevertheless, these situations are all opportunities. It's up to us, though, whether we choose to utilize them as such. But this isn't a mere option. We need to train our minds. If we do, we will start to see them in this way, and we'll start to actually transform them, and thereby it will be clear they are opportunities. So in the world right now, there's a lot of pain and suffering being caused by the coronavirus. There's the pain of those being experienced who are ill and their fear as well. The pain of those, of the families and loved ones left behind of those many thousands who have died, those tens of thousands who have died. And then there's the pain and suffering of the many millions who are worried because perhaps they have loved ones who are susceptible, or they themselves have underlying conditions, which means if they get ill, that they may well succumb to death. Although those many healthcare professionals placing themselves in danger for the sake of others, and indirectly placing their own families in danger for the sake of others. So there's a lot of worry and concern in the world right now. So a bodhisattva would approach this in a particular way, and we should too. And we should emulate their example. A bodhisattva would be aware through all their training that these situations all are impermanent, which means have come about in dependence on causes and conditions. They've come about in dependence on causes and conditions. So if a bodhisattva were, for example, to encounter the suffering of say, becoming ill, they would transform this readily. Becoming ill, becoming infected, say, with the coronavirus, they would recognize that this suffering, in this illustration, it's this coronavirus, has come about in dependence on causes that they themselves accumulated in the past, and now as a practitioner of great virtue, they can be sure that not only is this a negative imprint from the past that's ripened and now being experienced as this suffering, but because they are a practitioner of great virtue, this is highly likely to have been a very severe negative imprint that has ripened in this comparatively minor way. So it's not that that this experience is minor, this illness is minor, it's that compared to how it could have ripened, because of the strength of their virtue, the strength of the virtue has already greatly weakened the negative imprint, and therefore it's ripening in this comparatively minor way. Knowing this with conviction, joy arises in the bodhisattva. With joy arising, they're not suffering. They may be ill, they may be gravely ill, but they're experiencing joy because they know a severe negative imprint that could otherwise impede their spiritual progression is now being exhausted and is thereby aiding their spiritual development because they are transforming this, they are freed of this. Now recognizing that they have skillfully transformed a potentially suffering situation, and recognizing that they have this ability, they've trained their mind so well that they can transform the suffering situation, their confidence grows. And with this confidence, they generate the strong aspiration. Powerful negative karmic seeds, such as that has just ripened upon me, I can transform these. Such seeds exist on the continuum of all kind mother sentient beings. These seeds that would otherwise propel them to the rebirths in the hells and the preta realms and the animal realms, may they ripen on me. May they ripen on me right now. And through all these so-called suffering experiences that I'm undergoing now, through my transformation of them and purification of negative imprints, may I purify these negative imprints on the continuum of others. And may others be freed of all such negative imprints. May they ripen on me because I can deal with this. I can transform this. And in this way, the Bodhisattva practices taking on the suffering of others and the causes of suffering of others. And moreover, recognizing that this is a practice of the Bodhisattvas. And they, therefore, have generated vast stores of virtue, causes of happiness, causes of the attainment of enlightenment. And they have generated this in dependence on the kindness of others. They offer this back to all sentient beings, all those who are suffering, lost in the ignorance lost in the darkness of ignorance. May beings come to meet the Dharma. May beings, under the care of a Maya and a spiritual friend, develop bodhicitta and enlightenment as quickly as possible. I give my roots of virtue to them. May it ripen on their continuums. And in this way, the Bodhisattva practices giving too.
Yeah, that just about the thank you. Then that to send the share that thank you do not see the you to get Jicky, Hanji Shalia, Galea Kawo, Jicky, Bendigo, Lobsang Dorje, Dini Chue, love you do, Jicky Pachoti, machine by the Galea Mura Chai, the nature, and I did call your gazelle Pandoruna, Koya Chas, Mindu Kolia, and Jigazella now Hoshiam and Dasha was something on the same Shayage, your ones in the Yungua. That's just in particular the Nigi. Sakbardo, she rangi, Yamling, Sosuki Community, Calera, Calera, that is it, that I was Jung Tango to say Sigua. Chinese sympathy, the Nigi, Sosuki, Yamlin Chidu Kabla Kanga Chavata, and Shalia, Church in the Nigi, Shalia, Chikiwi, pampa jubi kabla kangara chumba dendigi chun pe maseda dendigi chuya pe yabu res tanga dendigi kanga gazi na kanga ja shen simjengi dondala sanje goma tubi chiri jigu shen simjen dunga se digi juya ji rangi dondan mare dendi che dengi kale gazi na jigin sembeki dendigi suba kumgo reje chesa dendi za simjen shen yu nyoba na dela nyoba la jimani bi dunga ana rangi dunga tangdo lembe dunga suba dunga tangdo lembe suba ana chela ngesimi suba se on du chen jan semba de gi du shin suba kumgo reje subi nyamne jigo res
Suffering. Patience is presented in three categories, the three types of patience. So these three types are mentioned now, and then at the end of the segment again. There's a patience of tolerating harm, or to express it differently, the patience of disregarding harm from others. And secondly, the patience of willingly accepting hardships. And thirdly, the patience of gaining certainty with respect to the Dharma, or the patience of gaining certainty with respect to the Dharma. So what these three types allude to is that both the Bodhisattva and the aspirant Bodhisattva needs to transform all opportunities into the path through the cultivation of patience. Wherever these opportunities present themselves, or whatever way in which these opportunities present themselves. And that's what these three divisions relate to. So the one, the patience of disregarding harm from others. So the aspirant Bodhisattva and the Bodhisattva would transform the situation of dealing with hardships from others. Secondly, the patience of willingly accepting hardships. So this is our inner turmoil. So dealing with our own inner difficulties. In our case, then, as ordinary beings, when our afflictive minds are causing us pain and suffering, here we are patient with this, meaning we're taking control of our mind, we're taking responsibility for our mind. We don't let our mind be overwhelmed by our inner turmoil. So just like with the first type of patience, we practice patience by not allowing our mind to be overwhelmed by our afflicted response to what is happening, or what the other person may be doing to us. In the second case, with the afflictions already starting to ripen within us, we don't allow ourselves to be overwhelmed by those afflictions. This is how we practice patience in the second way. The third is patience in relation to our Dharma practice. So here, if we studying and it's difficult, we're struggling to understand, often we get dispirited, I've had enough. Or we're meditating, this is really too much, changes and coming, and we give it up. This is not how a Bodhisattva would deal with hardship, nor should we. So in this third situation then, here too, the Bodhisattva and the aspirant Bodhisattva too should guard their mind from being overwhelmed by the situation, overwhelmed by the hardship of engaging in virtuous activities, such as study or meditation. So these are the three types of patience. And for ordinary beings, usually when these situations are encountered, we lose our mental strength. We give up, we back away. This is too hard. And we get angry at a person, we get frustrated by our inner turmoil, we put aside our Dharma practice. Rather, we should emulate the Bodhisattvas, to being aware of what's happening in our mind, quickly take control of the situation and ensure we are not overwhelmed. And thereby we are practicing patience. And it's at this point, just like a Bodhisattva, we too can generate joy. And we will generate joy in the same way as a Bodhisattva does when we see we are transforming a situation, something that in the past has so many times overwhelmed us. We are now skillfully dealing with it. And now, instead of losing mental strength and giving up, great joy and inner strength arises, seeing how we are developing, getting a feel for the potential that we have to transform ourselves. So we need to practice patience, just like bodhisattvas, in these three ways.
Never chicken or tuna telia, Subacum Conramalaja, Subacum Gachimashures, Subacum Tobachores. That rangi, then Ranlaya, Chen Yamlin Chidu Kabla, Sosu Rangi, that Lu Nena, the Dunga Chombe ne, that Yawanga Maliki Tiburi, some delay in the Isha Tang, and de Namchiki Simja, Tamjiki Dunga, Tangi Dunga Yoma, Tiki Yonche, she has Simja Tam to Dunga Yoma or shows and Bimalam Jaya. Diana Sosu Rangi. Givi Yamlin Chia, that Shale Pember to Bala Ganga Chubena, or that Dinigi Deli, Dinigi Ganga Chet, Shale Pember to Yada, Givi Javan Yamlin Chet, Masa Yapo, that Dinigi cooperate to Gomushuri, some Dinigi Jedanga, the Galia Kaudus, some Jashashan, the Tisamara, the Zangedi, Galia Masambachi, Yamle Gau to the Jigins and Big on Duchin, the Samla Dache, the Dinigi, some of the Yane, Ado Nielene, Dinigi Majun, and Ado Nielene, some of the Tushigina and Big. 야네 야도 곰시 곰지지 고고래. 제가 곰지 제바이나 한 생긴 녀바로지 녀 만솔이야 직습시하나 자리기 한지 레바이네 텔레서 곰 두고래. 근데 소수기 류레네 나자 강아를 주베네 데니게 돈레 삼다야 땅 투야 책으로 제산 기회 자와지도 강아 태웨네 데니게 서버 곰 투야 책으로 제산 예레네 양수 양시 야생 삼모다 디나시 그 서버 곰이 곰이스네 야네 야도 장도를 제바이나 아니 마음바나 되니기 나중에 냠내 야보지 투야기 전시세만 하지 자 투야기 아니 레와요와 디네자 딜이야 전시세만에 두 제바나지 나중에 두시 야네야도 장도를 제고를 해서 그래.
The steps then of this practice of patience is first guarding our mind, ensuring that we are not overwhelmed by the afflictions, no matter the source of the afflictions. Because the sign of being overwhelmed by the difficulties of a situation are when the afflictions arise and dominate, such as getting angry. So whether the situation is suffering circumstances coming about in dependence on others, or our own inner turmoil, such as worry about illness, such as the suffering of being ill, or the third, to do with our Dharma practice, all the difficulties one encounters there. So whichever of these three categories of the source of our difficulties, the first step of the practice is not allow our mind to be overwhelmed, and thereby we are practicing patience. Secondly, being aware that this situation that we're encountering, whatever it may be, has come about in dependence on causes and conditions. And therefore, because it's suffering, these are negative causes, and that is being eliminated right now. And that immediately gives us some joy, because this is no context of being a practitioner of virtue, which means we are purifying previously accumulated vast stores of negativity. So the second step then, it brings great joy to our mind, this recognition that we are purifying right now. And then, in dependence on this light and spacious and joyful mind, we are then ready to go into the third way to practice here. Now recognizing that we are transforming what otherwise would have been a suffering situation, taking it into the path, with a mind based on love and compassion, we make the heartfelt aspiration to take on the causes of suffering that abide on the continuum of others too. May they ripen on me, because I can deal with this. I can see. I am dealing with it now. My mind is light and spacious despite the situation I find myself in. Others who are not spiritually developed like I am will suffer, will create causes for further suffering, will create causes which will lead them to be born in the lower realms. Rather, let these karmic seeds on their continuum ripen upon me. I can deal with this. We practice taking like this, taking on the suffering of others. That's the third step. The first was guarding our mind, not getting angry or afflicted. Secondly, recognizing it comes from causes accumulated by ourselves in past lives. And thirdly, taking on the suffering of others. And now fourthly, all this virtue we're accumulating here from practicing patience, reflecting on causality, based on love and compassion, taking on the suffering of others, all this virtue that is being accumulated in dependence on the kindness of others, these kind mother sentient beings who are suffering throughout all the realms, I offer it to them. May it ripen on their continuum, and may it ripen in a way that brings them under the care of a Mahayana spiritual friend. Guided, whilst guided, strive to follow the trainings, accumulating the causes for enlightenment, achieving freedom from pain. So these are the 4 steps then in the practice of patience. But in order for us to see suffering situations as actually precious opportunities that we will not let go to waste and therefore will embrace, this is something that only comes about in dependence on repeatedly training of a sustained period, and not just on these 4 steps. There's an entire sequence where we gain familiarity through all these preceding 26 practices that give us strength and skill to actually train in perfection of patience. Because being aware of our mind, knowing the danger of the afflictions, causes of suffering and pain, as well as having conviction in causality and love and compassion for others, these have all been trained in already. Hence, this correct and unmistaken sequence. So in order to embrace potentially harmful situations as great and precious opportunities, it comes about independent on extensive prior training. So therefore, my encouragement is to train in all these practices repeatedly over a sustained period. And now we come to the 28th practice, which is in the perfection of joyous perseverance. If even heroes in solitary realizes to accomplish just their own interest, strive as if extinguishing a fire on their heads, then, for the benefit of all sentient beings, persevering with joy, the source of all good qualities is the practice of Bodhisattvas.
Gola measure daughter zun tona said Gola measure by Naya solo meba tabuchin beju chimbuchin and gene lam yamlin chigores. So Tarbata Tarbi Gopa Tobiak Dondala, Soso Rarang Tarbi Gopa Tobiak Dondala, and Odushin beju chimbuchin and yamlin chigores.
Practitioners of the hero or solitary realizer lineage are those who are striving for their own individual liberation. These are greatly inspiring practitioners in the sense of their incredible commitment and inner strength, because to achieve a goal as great as the complete eradication of afflictions together with their seeds and attain liberation from one's own samsaric existence takes tremendous vigor and effort. And this is what's alluded to or stated here in the first 2 lines. If even heroes in solitary realizes to accomplish just their own interest, strive as if extinguishing a fire on their heads. So they strive with this great energy and commitment and focus, as if one were trying to extinguish a fire on one's own head.
Daughter solo mebache and the city perusin, Penangazugi, Denela Mecham, Barch and Mecham Barbidin magic, Mele Gubana, 나 저거 고려야 샤모콘데 두로 야고코데 메바르되베네 다디네 샤만 마비징에디 메바르샤디 츠두스네 대되신 쇠롱요 말어봐 메바바나 어다딘지 셰다 chen 저르구로다 고 메바베네 두로디게다 고 메바르데 셰다 chen 저르고 메쇠롱 메바체 저르구로와 디나시 안에 디나신 안에 냐나가 람냠는 제한디게 소소 탈비 고방 토비에게 돈달이야 안지 강하다 디니기 같이 협에나 강한 마상바젤라 준류진의 배제 신배진의 언도신의 균에 인체 뒤신의 마회양 균에 맞제바제 안에 누스냠는 난고로 와시래 회양 맞제바제 회양신의 뢰뢰지 기부제 참참신데 드링제 참저라 상인 냠는 지인사 어디네 회양 마셔바제 배주시고 그러지
링아서 배진데 제거레스
나디기 지고레지 지가 당분이 이렇게 쉬어다 고라 메바나 쇼롬메 세디기 쉬어와 지사 냐나디기 냐람 냠는 간에 지고레스는 소소 탈바 터비에게 돈달이야 깔레 같이 연나 준비 친비 전에 회양 마송화제 냠는 지고레스 배는 저기 고라 메쇼는 메바베네 안지 쇼롬메가 저르고로 어디 나신지는 탈바 조고 터비에게 돈달이야 근데 배주 친비 전에 준비 친비 권에 하는 냠는 지고레스 지가 당분이 된데 쉬어다
그렇죠. This illustration is given specifically for a specific reason. These practitioners who are striving for their own individual liberation are striving as if extinguishing a fire in their own heads. So if we think of ourselves or someone who's not an experienced stunt person wearing protective clothing and lotions, if their clothing or their hat caught fire, they wouldn't, I wonder what I should do, or maybe now, maybe later, immediately, without any hesitation, with no distraction at all, with great concentration, they would ensure, they make great endeavor to extinguish that fire immediately, without any hesitation. And this is how a practitioner who's given rise to the mind of definite emergence and is striving to achieve their liberation from their own individual samsara, they are striving like this. They are no friend of laziness. Laziness is abandoned. They are no a friend of procrastination or being overwhelmed by trivial activities. Moreover, they have great strength of mind. And this is the case for someone striving for their liberation.
나 시간이 번이데 조근 돈도 연대 중에 기 전주 좀 받겠어라는 인스. 지사다 야나디게 랑니 대와 랑니 탈바 랑지부 탈바 토비에게 돈달에 되네기 배수 침부 지기여바나 땅아나 전시심 비냠는 제 지가서 샘전 탐지게 돈다 샘전 탐지 디기 주여데 샘전 탐지 누가를 해 돈달이야 아니 상계 고방 제 연대 탐지기 현래 패비 연대 탐지 중에 상계 고방 토비에게 돈달에 냠는 제여바데 다 lojong gyune pe gashin gubyo ko ne nyamna che pe mas ka wore didi bezo she che an gedi ne nyamna che wa de ben bezo chimbo che zunru chimbo che nyamna che wa pe mas re samje delya gashi pe go bu che ne an gashin gubyo ko ne nyamna chi ko che chisa konzu ge nyana dige rang chigbu dondale bezo chimbo dinigi nyamna chi go ba na nga semjen 탐지 ge dondale semjen 탐지 digi du be na semjen 탐지 ge dunga se ge donda chi pe mas ya ro wa dide ma be donda chimbo shu chi re chisa semjen 탐지 ge donda sa jo go ba to ya le top na shen semjen 탐지 pan ba ja chi bo du tu ro di dondale bezo che ba pe mas ya wo yi se de ka le ga zi ge na ya ba zi ye ne ane ga ne je ho na nyamde ji san be ge zun ru ki go re che di chen shi san ba nam ge gong ba she du su chen de cha le nan go re ji re.
If this is the case, how a practitioner strives without any laziness or distraction for the welfare or the interest of just a single being, in this case themselves, how must it be for an actual bodhisattva who has as at the innermost desire the welfare, the interest, the benefit of uncountable sentient beings? So Bodhisattva too is striving single-pointedly without any distraction, procrastination, or discouragement. But their striving is very different. They're not striving for the middling goal of liberation from cyclic existence. They're striving for the greatest goal, the supreme goal, that of bodhicitta. Moreover, they're not striving for the sake of one being, but uncountable beings. And with these two differences, we can imagine how great their perseverance is, their effort, the energy they put in to their practices. Moreover, we can imagine for a bodhisattva, whenever they directly and also indirectly enact the welfare of others, the great joy it brings to their mind, knowing that they are alleviating the suffering of their kind and precious mother beings. And as they progress ever more in their spiritual development and their skills grow ever more powerful, the great joy this comes to their mind because of the benefits that they're having on others. This is how bodhisattvas practice. For the benefit of all sentient beings, persevering with joy, the source of all good qualities, is the practice of bodhisattvas.
Da di na shin re da chen ju sem ba di gi du s nyam le na na shin da nga zu yin ne ya da nga zu den ju mi lu rim bu top da de nga zu che chi yo ko bi di ka de le ya de ni ko ba Zangpo di yi di ka ji ji de na nga zu gi da ko wa le ni jung sam da ya dang ni jung ko mya re ane ma zu ge sem je la jam ba ko mya ane an do je ni je ko mya tu che ko mya da an jin bi nyam len su ju nyam len de xin ye le ba su bi nyam len che di ni gi nyam len di pe ma se ya bu ya da de ni gi ko phra wa de pe ma se ya bo de le ko bo shu re de ne re di ring je ra wa de pe ma se ya bu yin sen ka xin gu bi ko ne che ya da an di yang an jan ju sem ba di gi sem je tham ji gi di gi ju ya da sem je du ma se ya gi don da le ya an be ju che ba se je na san ju ko ba to ba ji go re ji san san ye ko ro de ye ma san yi gen di gi de ni gi nyam le jin da san ge ba de ji san xian le pan ba ya chi mo chu ko ji san ding yi ne de ni gi ko ga phra wa de le ya nyam len che xie ni jam ni che ja ju sem de ge pa ji gi gyu le ge tu ya dang an de pa jin ju ge nyam le ta chen ba de ji gi ya sem be de le nyam len che di ring di ko ga phra wa de pe ma se ya bu yin che ga xian 最新观念，俺这里呀，针对俺这个洛阳嘛，说话去，俺的人才个第一呢，俺说你们讲土土结果的些，但俺最近呢，对那个讲多的些，你们结果的些的，但那些东西这些我领过是吧？
In case it's not clear from the way I'm reading it, in the third and fourth line, the source of all good qualities is persevering with joy. So that's the meaning here. I think it's written more clearly than I've been saying it. The source of all good qualities is joy's perseverance. So we need to utilize this practice here, just like the Bodhisattvas do, in that in all our trainings, as we've been hearing here, recognizing the great opportunity we have, this precious rebirth, its impermanence, transforming our lives, our way of thinking, striving for something meaningful, through having recognized the source of our suffering or the afflicted minds, striving to be freed of these, recognizing that others are in the same suffering situation as us and how valuable they are to us, and they need to be first and foremost in our attention, not the selfish attitude we develop, the other cherishing mind. Based on that, love, compassion, bodhicitta, and thereby we'll be able to engage in the actual practices of generosity, ethical restraint, and patience, and so forth. So as we make whatever progress we do through just hearing this teaching, and whatever reflection we are engaging now on this as well as in the later meditations, recognize what you are doing. Recognize that you are practicing in the footsteps of all the Bodhisattvas and Buddhas. Recognizing that these are the self-same baby steps that every Bodhisattva embarked on themselves. And you are doing this right now. And every virtuous act you engage in other words, every virtuous thought you have, watching this, being aware of this, generate joy. Whenever you engage in virtue, recognize how fortunate you are to have had that opportunity. Recognize the kindness of others who have led you to have the skill and opportunity. Generate joy. Seek out further opportunities to receive teachings, reflect on teachings, to benefit others. Cultivate your way of thinking. And also always reminding yourselves that every time you turn your mind towards virtue, every time you turn your mind away from non-virtue, great joy arises for your teachers and all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, because their child is taking strides towards enlightenment. So remind yourselves of this. Generate joy, committing thereby to strive ever more to cultivate all good qualities to the point of perfection in order to become a perfect being, a Buddha, for the sake of others. Now we come to the concentration on calm abiding. Having understood that through the union of calm abiding and meditative insights, afflicted minds are vanquished entirely. Cultivating concentration that completely surpasses the four absorptions of the formless realm is the practice of Bodhisattvas.
Nyomba said the Korea Zawa, the Sheba Najin, Desha Shetan Timo Sums, Dunaju, Yuzo, Trazo did it, Nazumeva so did it. Dinane Yazo doesn't Tensi Maripas and it is. Chisanti, Delatene, and Desha Shetan, Najata Mara Kitchen, and Koala Crochet, not to Chasa Dunganyo, good did it. Chesa Nyomba Panko, Nyomba Nani, Nyomba Zawa, the Denzi Maripas at Panko. Chisan Denzi Maripas, Canis Pangos, Tony Toba, Zambi, pending on the Jimba Children, Silver Yamlenche, and Tony Toba Zambi, called Nyomba Denzi Maripa, the Maba Sutugures and Sutugu Mendus. That cargo was in Tony let me be Tony, let's say, do me be Shine Troop to Shine Troop. That Tony let me be Shine D Troop near. Tony let me be Shine Troop Sane, Tony let me be Zechidu, be Shine D Nane, and Tony let me be Harton Troop, Sheriff Troop, and she loves no dress at the Combudos. D combine the nation of Topna, D combalatene, and Denzi Maripa the Pangudus. She's not Denzi Maripa, Payagi, that Nimbol Mason, the Yuena Menadi, Tony let me be she loves no Rigi, Reshas, and she's on D. Tanyomo Payagi, Nimbo Zodi. Tony Vishla, Suredi, Imbadi, and the Jensen Japa Chetusin, Cambares or Shila, Sondre Rab, Shine Rab de Timber, Hardongi, Numon number Jamba, Shi Gene, Numo Poyaki, Nimbo, when it did and Campares.
Bodhisattvas will have long come to realize that the cause of all the sufferings in samsara is not to be found outside. It's no person, it's no event. Therefore, they have no fear for others or circumstance, knowing that whatever they encounter can bring them no harm. And this is because they've recognized the true cause of suffering. And that is the three poisons: ignorance, attachment, anger. And of these three, the very root is the ignorance of self-grasping. This is the root cause from which all the afflicted minds arise, whether attachment or anger or pride or jealousy. They all come from this root cause. And it's these that need to be destroyed. No circumstances, individuals, other people, this is not the problem. Inner transformation, that is the objective, that is the goal. Having recognized in that the cause of all sufferings of samsara is this ignorance of self-grasping, it is this that the bodhisattva knows that has to be overcome. And the only way to destroy this is to develop a contrary mind, the mind that is completely contrary to the ignorance of self-grasping, which is also the ignorance of true grasping, synonyms. And that this contrary mind is the wisdom realizing emptiness. The wisdom that realizes that phenomena do not exist in the way that they appear as truly existent. But in order for the wisdom that realizes emptiness to have the great strength to eradicate completely this powerful and pervasive ignorance of self-grasping that pervades our every experience right now, this wisdom has to be a mind of great power. It has to come about, it has to be based on the union of calm abiding, so single-pointed concentration, and meditative insight, or special insight, or penetrative insight. It's only the union of calm abiding and meditative insight, it's only wisdom that has as its basis, the union of calm abiding and meditative insight, that realizes emptiness as its object, that has the power to eradicate this deep-seated ignorance of self-grasping. So this is what the Bodhisattva strives to cultivate. The union of calm abiding and meditative insight, realizing emptiness. And this is in the first two lines, having understood that through the union of calm abiding and meditative insight, afflicted minds are vanquished entirely.
Chidna sumi se de la ya sumi shi yor namga ta ye namje ta ye ji ya me si se se de sumi ge ne shi dinan cha sa shi ne yam shi ne shu chen bu gong ko re chidna di gong ko de di shi ne gong zui gong me ge shi ne di ge dong yin le mi bi shi ne re yo ma re chidna di gong ba zam ji ko wa le ta tu gong zui ni me ge di na shi ne ja yang gong ko de yin ya ko wa le ta tu ya yo ma re ni nyo mo ba tu go ma ga se ne gong zui shi ne de dong yin le mi bi shi ne ma re wa so re chidna sumi shile yangda deba yi, konzu gomda na shinji gomba ina kowa le zhutu gomba re, karsan yu tongpa nile migyo ma re. Chinada janshi senpegi karsan nyumo paya la yu di tongpa nile mije, tongpa nile mibe shine zhub, tat shine di nga ne tongpa nile mibe ge lakdong zhubya di gomba di samten gomba, dini ki zo gomba go re se, di zo gomba ne, chisi samten gomba gyase la le yin se, janshi senpa namki du shine, 동이 le mibi shine zhub, shine di nga ne, ane lakdong zhub, ane di gomgo res.
So recognizing that the root cause of all suffering of all beings is the ignorance of true grasping, the Bodhisattva will strive to cultivate the wisdom realizing emptiness, the antidote to that. But for it to be the actual antidote, in other words, to have sufficient strength to root out this deep-seated affliction of the ignorance of true grasping, this wisdom has to be based on the union of calm abiding and meditative insight. So realizing that, we then conclude the verse, cultivating concentration that completely surpasses the four absorptions of the formless realm is the practice of a bodhisattva. So beings who have attained powerful calm abiding and have a calm abiding of a being of the formless realms. So these four levels of calm abiding, or the four absorptions, are that first of limitless space, limitless consciousness, nothingness, and the peak of cyclic existence. So these four, again, limitless space, limitless consciousness, nothingness, and the peak of cyclic existence, these are states of extreme concentration or powerful concentration, and extreme bliss is experienced by these beings. Their desire realm afflictions are suppressed. But whilst experiencing great bliss, whilst experiencing powerful bliss, and having suppressed their desire realm afflictions, they haven't even begun to eliminate their afflictions. So in other words, that is only a very temporary attainment. So a bodhisattva, determined not to be deluded and mistaken in such a way, striving just for mere worldly bliss, they strive for far more powerful concentration, which which is conjoined with meditative insight. So they will take calm abiding and conjoin it with meditative insight. Not only that, it will be focused on the emptiness of inherent existence. So therefore, a bodhisattva strives to firstly realize emptiness. Having realized emptiness, they then cultivate calm abiding on the object of the emptiness of inherent existence. So hold this realization stably, and then strive to cultivate the union of calm abiding and meditative insight, realizing the emptiness of inherent existence. In other words, they can hold the realization of emptiness of inherent existence single-pointedly and investigate with meditative insight without losing their single-pointed concentration. This is the practice of bodhisattvas.
나 전주 선비게 되는 냠는 거래. 되는 나나 생활하고 있네야. 안는 동하기 요하기 동안 녀모 방고 거래. 녀모 비기 요새 자와 덴지 마릭 바팅 아주 방고 거와. 지사 디파와라 전주 선비 공부하나신 돈이라 미비기 실라 손대 공네 빠나마도 디 마도 셴바야 말. 지장하고 있네 돈이라 비실라 소리 공부 거와. 이내 당하서 돈이를 비실라스로 공부하라 돈이 또 거라서 돈이 또요 말와다 제사 돈이 비실라스로 공부해야지 갈래하고 책으로와 돈이 또요 제사다 되는 인상 가서 돈이 또에게 된다라 제바치야다 니 돈이 또야라 녀를 초사게 수남 초사고 초사에 대한 저 디레디 셰바 나시레 코와라 녀중 삼당 녀중기야 아니 잠니제 공야 안에 지 진비 냠내지야 추림 소야 되죠 추림 소야 안에 서봐 되네게다 개위 자와 주야다 양지 제바지 된디게 남 돈이고 섬다 깔래카도 될려 서버 kom야 이제냐 추림 소야 서버 kom야 안지자 주비 kom야 되네게 안데서 안지 냠내지야 빼마서 야보래 디름 거 브라와디 야보인 섬지 될려 가와 kom지 준리게야 어두 시에딩 안솔이야 예치 못 차고래 진짜 되네 안주이네 되네게 지혜네 되는 아주 수남로시 마소나 수남 철셔 연대의 조 철셔도 되는 거 돈이 제바지 된디게 남자 제바지도 돈이 되도 또야래 레라 용거로 지사다 돈이 제바지는 돈이 또 봐이나 다 돈이래 지네 또선에 다 돈이 될 미비신이 주유래 주보래 신의 주 되네 신의 주네 되네 신 돈이 미신의 주사나 내 돈이 미별 하동 주 되네 근디 검제 제일선반은 냠내 나와나 신쟁아 중요 공부이나 내가 저기 녀몽배 자와 다세 마리바디 마 총총총 당고라 된다베는 아주 녀몽바 총주고 되네 코와당 가서 동안여야 돼 용용 주고라 되네 장아 저기 당아주 계시쇼 되아주 가르삼 당고라선 디링 되네 고가라 빼마서 야보인 삼제 하는 아주 다 거기 동아들라 탈고도 맡았는데 탑민우 선표 코와래 내중게야다 대야랑 지보마임베 심제 탐제 된다 인세 심제 탐제 동아 자고도 디기 된고 심제 되게 대화를 된다 삼야다 심제 되게 동아다 자와쇼 잠니지 kom야 디 된다라야 안 심제 되게 디기 주야다 심제 되게 동아다 자와다 녜지 디 인상에 심제 탐지게 된다 산요고바 토버쇼 세비게 자주셈 두스는 삼다 되니게 산요고바 토야라야 아니 류가 예수 예주 된비 수림 냠는지 냠는 탈마 쳔바 산요고바 토투 말이 인상에 예주 된비 수림되게 송기 인세배다 아니 세나 마바바 아니 산요고바 토투 제자 류가 예수 로제 간내시네 샹리아 아니 샹semjel에 당기 셈비치베 냠는자 되니게 냠는 지도캅라 다츠카브렐리아 아니 지강아 가리토네나 네나자다 생기 강아제야다 되니게 양아직 냠는 지도가라 마싱비 강아 용굴때 이나야 되네 용아도 뺀마싱이 고라와데 야보이 되네 깔리 캡긴 셈베게 쇠보금 투버지긴 쇠베 냠는자 안 되네 냠는자 뺀마서 야보이 생가신 구비원 니 태양마송아지 아니 진인세 뒤두도 그디나 지긴 셈베 준리게야다 어두 신행한 저 냠는자 이렇게 좀 차고래 되네게 냠는 야보용바다 되네 가지고 신이 삼대 주야 신의 주변 레라 돈이 제바제바이나 돈이 또야라 레라 용구로와 제가 되네자 디링 땅 가상한 주기디 다 되네게 랍시 냠는 지야데 되네 삼다데 삼로 나라야 두신의 방지제 안에 야도 두신의 안에 야도 삼다야다 두신의 차고로와
To abandon this root cause of all our suffering, the ignorance of true grasping, one has to develop the wisdom realizing emptiness, where this wisdom is conjoined with the union of calm abiding and meditative insight. It's only then that the wisdom will have sufficient power to dig out this deep-rooted ignorance. So this, to be able to have the union of calm abiding and meditative insight conjoined with the wisdom realizing emptiness, one has to previously have realized emptiness. Now we ourselves, not only haven't we developed the union of calm abiding meditative insight, we also haven't realized emptiness. So us as aspirants to the Bodhisattva paths, we need to strive to do this because we want to be freed of suffering and we want to be skilled enough to help others become free of suffering too. So to attain these realizations, we need to accumulate vast stores of merit. How to do so? Engage in these, thus far, 29 practices. We reflect on this incredible opportunity we have. It's great. Why is it so incredible? In particular, because of the purpose it can achieve. And we strive then to fulfill that purpose, reflecting on the sufferings of samsara and their true origins, seeing that the primary cause is the afflictions which all come from ignorance, giving rise to definite emergence. Then, having cultivated definite emergence, we move our attention onto others, seeing their suffering just like us. We use this as the basis to develop love and compassion and bodhicitta for all. Having generated bodhicitta, we engage in the meditations on the 6 perfections. In particular, we cultivate this crucial basis of ethical restraint, the foundation of all good qualities. And we ensure that we generate joy in what we're doing. We recognize that we are living a life that is meaningful. To realize, to develop the union of calm abiding and meditative insight that realizes the emptiness of inherent existence, prior to that one needs to first realize emptiness. Prior to that, one would almost certainly have realized the union of calm abiding and meditative insight on another object, an object that's much easier to realize. But for us, the way to proceed is as has been defined here in this text. So the way that we need to proceed is to strive to develop definite emergence within ourselves. This is imperative. We have to recognize how we are suffering. The coarsest sufferings, as well as the subtlest sufferings, and their pervasive nature, how they pervade our experiences, in that our aggregates, our body and mind, are contaminated. They are true sufferings. We need to recognize this so we can see with vivid clarity that unless we completely transform how we live our life, our mental focus, we will remain trapped within the suffering realms of samsara. So this we have to do. It is only in dependence on wanting to be freed of suffering ourselves, which comes about in dependence on having recognized suffering and its causes, that we then can actually generate real love and compassion for others. Because as we've seen, it's laughable to say, I want to free others from suffering, when we don't really understand what suffering is, or its causes, or when we haven't given up the wish to suffer ourselves truly. In other words, when we haven't transformed how we're living our lives, ensuring that we are not coming under the influence of the afflictions. Because as long as we are coming under the influence of the afflictions, we'll struggle to restrain ourselves ethically, and thereby we'll struggle not to harm others. So therefore, any thought of acting for the welfare of others is laughable when we're harming them. And we're harming them because we are not restraining ourselves. And we are not restraining ourselves because we haven't yet recognized the role the afflictions play in our lives. So this is the crucial first step, recognizing or cultivating definite emergence. And this comes about in dependence on reflecting on the sufferings of samsara and its origins. Then we focus this realization on others, recognizing they're in the same position. And we cultivate bodhicitta through, as you've heard, the 6 cause and 1 effect method, as well as the equalizing and exchanging self with others. In this way we generate bodhicitta. And then we engage in the meditations of the 6 perfections. And these, in brief, whilst they're all important, for us in particular, ethics is fundamentally important because it's the foundation of all good qualities. In addition, we develop generosity, the wish to benefit. And with these 2, ethics and generosity, we have the required basis to actually develop patience. Not just the so-called patience of staying quiet or not physically responding in the face of adversity, but where our mind is actually undisturbed in the face of adversity. And this takes great training. And also transforming obstacles with sincerity, not just acting as if we are, with sincerity. This also takes great training, but it comes about independence on all these prior trainings. So we're already encountering obstacles often in our life. Every day we encounter difficulties, unwanted situations, minor and sometimes great. Utilize these. And what we observe in the experiences of others, utilize these, transform them within ourselves, recognizing they come about in dependence on causes, which means on one hand they'll cease, on the other hand we can and must develop the contrary causes. And doing so, we can offer that virtue to others. So through going through all these trainings, as has been outlined thus far in the text, this gives us great skill. It gives us great experience of transforming our mind, confidence that bodhisattva paths are possible for us, and huge stores of merit. And these are all required, the skill, experience, and merit, as a basis to develop the union of calm abiding and meditative insight. Then these become quite easy to develop, as well as skill and experience in the bodhisattva practices and merit are required to develop the wisdom realizing emptiness. And thereby we will be able to develop the union of calm abiding and meditative insight, realizing the emptiness of inherent existence. So I encourage you to make great effort in these trainings repeatedly over a sustained period. So tomorrow we will continue and we come to the training in the perfection of wisdom. So thank you very much.